2.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to highlight is Mixer's gone for a Ruby Crystal as his first item back. He's expecting fights, and this might be it.
The fight is what he's going to find. Vander immediately comes in, has to flash away from the Aqua Prison again. Mixer going aggressive, and well, ROCCAT, they're on their back feet in the bottom lane.
Super Hot Crew making it abundantly clear which lane they want to get snowballing. Also in the mid lane, Moops is holding his own against Overpower, so that's staying even. And if you look at Mima, he's already got a lead over Zazas' Malphite. So I think a very strong showing here from Super Hot Crew. We talked about how they want to shove towers early, and at 5 minutes 20, they've got a 3-man push on this bottom alpha turret.
That Blood Boil doing work, and Mr. Rales just constantly powering down on that tower. Already half the hit points gone off in just 5.5 minutes into this game. The top lane, as you mentioned, 41 to 27 CS. Mixer is just, Mima, is just bullying out that top lane.
I also think Mima's Renekton will offer more threat in a prolonged team fight. As long as nobody from Super Hot Crew gets popped by that unstoppable force initiation, a Renekton's going to offer much more in a prolonged fight. The Super Hot Crew, they're not letting up. They definitely want this tower.
Impaler getting called into this one. The tower is going to hit him any second now. That's going to be the kill, and ROCCAT do get themselves one back.
Yeah, very nicely done. The double bubble not going to be enough, and now they're going to keep sticking onto Mixer.
Jankovic was taken very low. Jankos, I should say. Jankovic, I don't know where that one pulled in. He is Polish. Maybe that's his name. Who knows? But nevertheless, straight on there. Trevor's died. He's died. I've lost him. I've lost him completely. But it is the bottom lane tower. Tower teleport coming in towards the top lane. But Zazas at the moment is in trouble against Mima. He teleports straight back in there and immediately has the back to his tower.
Zazas is feeling the pressure right now. He's picked a bruiser into a matchup that he's going to lose. Renekton offers more in the early game, can put more damage out, better sustain, and just using that teleport to pick up CS and not fall behind on levels is already a bad sign. You've got Overpower playing fairly defensively, but keeping up in CS in mid lane, which is very, very crucial once we start seeing those first Grand Skyfalls.
Yeah, we'll see if the man drops do manage to turn the game on its head. And of course, you know, Zazas, we know he's going to be slow behind Mima in the top lane, so no surprise, honestly. More importantly, I'm impressed that he's actually kept up with CS. He's only 10 CS, fell behind. But Impaler has kept up the CS with Jankos, despite the fact he's been sat on that bottom lane for effectively the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Impaler's doing a very, very good job. We talked about how he likes to play those aggressive junglers. We've seen him playing Vi, we've seen him playing Xin Zhao. This is a different style of jungle champion to play, and I'm actually excited to see it because I was worried he was a little bit one-dimensional. I was worried that if you took away the aggressive in-your-face junglers, he may not perform up to the same level. And so far this game, he's already demonstrating an ability to, you know, diversify his play. However, all that time he spent bottom, the tower's not down yet. There has been good defensive covering by Jankos, so you know, overall, I think win for ROCCAT.
Aqua Prison catching on Salavar, and again, the ace in the hole, the Piltover Peacemaker follows straight through. Ace in the hole will be up in a moment, so I'm not expecting that one to just follow through as well. But it is all on the bottom lane. Super Hot Crew are keeping that pressure on. Once again, Jankos coming around, he's going to ward it out and maybe head on back down there.
We'll see where he decides to go. You know, he has got even on CS, and he's been reacting to Super Hot Crew's play. We haven't seen Jankos actually setting up ganks or, you know, jumping in anybody's faces. So we'll have to see how he decides to start making an impact right now. The two top laners still left completely alone on their island. Nobody's gotten involved and, you know, begun to battle them. And with Zazas picking up that Chain Vista as his first item, he may just be a utility initiation bot, and they're hoping Lucian and Pantheon, as well as Elise, can close out team fights.
So, as the game develops, we are coming into the 9-minute mark, and we'll see how he starts gaining advantages. Will someone start looking at maybe going for that dragon? We can see that Moops is making his way down to this bottom lane. I expect to see a bit of a dive. No, back straight off.
Yeah, I think they definitely want to pick up the tower here. You know, having 4 members there, plus that early Vamp Scepter on Mr. Roll's Caitlyn, they want to get the tower, they want to rotate, and then they want to start pushing other lanes. But ROCCAT are doing phenomenally well at stalling this out. This is a composition we've actually seen, I think, several times. Nunu, very popular over in the GPL region. Not necessarily very victorious often, because once he falls behind, he doesn't offer a whole lot. And I think ROCCAT are doing good to prevent Impaler and Mr. Ross from snowballing the towers and the map presence out of control.
Overpower looking at maybe sidestepping, trying to go for that Grand Skyfall down the bottom. Of course, he can jump from quite a distance, so we'll keep our eye on that one. Doing a good job in this mid lane in terms of CS as well, because Obviously, every time Moops roams away from that lane, he's able to just steal a little bit of an advantage. And of course, he was an assist for Moops, which means the gold will still be even between the two. Did just see Vander, of course, that dead sentence was about to land on Mr. Rowlers, but the Aqua Prison instantly stopped it. So again, Mixer helping out his AD carry. This time, trying to get some of that gold reward on towards him with that talisman.
Yeah, and I really want to touch on the fact that we're seeing Nami, you know. Nami's a fringe champion that we haven't seen, you know, weakened or strengthened, but just other champions around her become more relevant, like your Leona, like your Annie, for example. And, you know, Nami's still in this unique position where she still offers quite a lot with her kit. She's got very good disengage, you know, her passive gives movement speed to her teammates as soon as she hits them with spells. And we'll see if Supa Crew can make that mobility and the unique disengage of a tidal wave work for them.
I'm expecting to see Supa Crew potentially go for a dragon here. All 4 members of that bottom area went back to buy. So you can see that Impaler returns. There's a beginnings of a Zhonya's Hourglass being picked up by Moops. Meanwhile, Bloodthirster almost completed by Mr. Rowlers as well. And now the Sightstone being picked up by Mixer. Want full vision, so I'm expecting that dragon to be started off soon.
No GP10. So Mixer's anticipating being jumped on by Elise Pantheon and Malphite. So he's gone for a lot of HP, got that Doran's, got the Sightstone already, but he is going to be behind in gold generation. So once again, if ROCCAT keeps stalling this out, keeps slowing the game down, extend this laning phase, ROCCAT will come out in the lead because they've got passive gold generation on their support. Even though they're behind a little bit in CS, that'll begin to even itself out.
There's the pink ward thrown down. They've got a good ward vision around the white as well. So the blue buff area completely covered off. Super Hot Crew once again, 3-man stacking down the bottom. That's going to pull Jankos straight down here once again to help out in this defensive duty. You're going to see whether they can pick any kills up. And as it is, they're stepping away and they're not keeping that pressure down.
They're not actually sticking to it. And I'm wondering to myself now if Super Hot Crew maybe backed away from the decision to push those towers. You know, maybe it hasn't worked thanks to some very good defensive play by Jankos. You can actually see him hanging just out of sight. The hook does land on Mixer. They're not going to go in for this one just yet. And I think overall, it's just been a very defensive play from ROCCAT and Supa Crew trying to find a way in. It's not working for them.
Well, Mima is just farming out between the 2 top turrets. It's what we saw in the previous match, doing very well by Youngbuck, keeping Wicked in all sorts of trouble in the top lane. Xaxus is not too worried about that though. He's got his passive, of course. Don't forget, he can just tank out these minions for days in that top lane area. So they're not really engaging with each other. Jankos does take down that ping ward, so a big investment there from Super Hot Crew. Not really working out for them.
No, not at all. You know, the hook goes a little wide.